Welcome to Movies vs. Films podcast channel. Brian, tuning in. Sorry if my voice sounds like ass. I've been sick the last few days, which is why this is coming out so late. Sitting in solo today to give you my non-spoiler review of Spider-Man No Way Home. So I want to make sure, like I said, not to spoil things. This is the third movie in the current trilogy. Started with Homecoming, then Far From Home, and now No Way Home. Tom Holland, of course, comes back as Spider-Man. Zendaya comes back as MJ. Aunt May is played by Marissa Tomei, and of course Happy Hogan is played by Jon Favreau. This one's very different from most Spider-Man movies in that this movie had a very endgame feel to it. This movie felt like it belonged on the MCU more than the other Spider-Man movies, which is strange because the other movies all had connections as well. Iron Man was heavily in the first one. With this movie, we see the ramifications of the last movie, where Spider-Man is outed as being Peter Parker and having to deal with that. It's very difficult to not hit spoilers if I get too involved in the plot, so I'll be very simple with it. Spider-Man asks Doctor Strange to basically make everyone forget that he is Peter Parker. He fucks up the spell because he keeps adding little caveats to it, like he wants MJ to still know he's Spider-Man and his aunt and Happy, and shit goes south on this, and next thing you know, it isn't everyone forgets that he is Peter Parker. It's people across the multiverse who know Spider-Man is Peter Parker are drawn to his universe. So that means Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, and Lizard all show up. Slight side note, Electro never knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man in that movie, so I'm not sure about that, but again, no spoilers. He has 5 villains to face off in this one. He has Doctor Strange with him for help, and of course he has MJ and Ned. It was one of the longer Spider-Man movies. I believe it clocked in around 2.5 hours or so. The pacing was good. The acting was good. Particularly Tom Holland and Marissa Tomei were great. The action was really good. It's particularly the scene when, and this is no spoiler again, but particularly when you see Spider-Man face off against Norman Osborn. It's one of the better fights we get in a Spider-Man film because we really see him using his webbing almost as an extension of his arms. He fucking slams this guy around. Of course, he fights Dr. Octopus. You saw that scene on the bridge. And it's no secret that the big final battle takes place at the Statue of Liberty. I will put up a spoiler review coming up soon with Ike, get his thoughts on it. But also, I think I'm going to put a video up on spoilers in general, because before this came out, in fact, the day before it came out, Variety had already posted their review, which was loaded with spoilers. Whenever I log into YouTube, there's always a shitload of spoilers there as well. It's ridiculous, and it's called a spoiler for a reason. It ruins the fucking movie for people. We see a lot of different Spider-Man suits, we see a lot of action, we see the results of the world now knowing Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He finds his entire life upside down. He now has to talk to the FBI and deal with the fact that he's a vigilante and perhaps he killed Mysterio, which obviously he didn't. Also, it bounces back on Happy Hogan for being the one to provide materials to him, so he gets into some shit as well. I'll say it was a lot of fun. It didn't feel as long as it was, which was good. It kind of went by pretty quickly. A lot of, I guess, what you call fan service, a lot of moments peppered through there. But as fun as it was, you know, I take the comic book movies for what they are. If the movie's no good, I still have the comics to rely on. They're all kind of predictable, but this one was very, very predictable, unfortunately. Seeing a lot of reviews where they come right out and they say it's the best movie ever. I don't think it's the best movie ever. It's not the worst movie ever. It's not a film. As far as Spider-Man movies go, I'd probably rank it, I don't know. We haven't really done a true ranking system yet for those movies. Maybe third. I might rank it third. I have to say that Spider-Man 2... Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2, and Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie, were probably the 2 best we've gotten so far. This one was very good, but again, it was really predictable for the fact that all the trailers we saw only showed the first half hour of the movie. I got really excited about that. I got a real endgame feel with all the villains, but at the end of the day, I don't think they squandered the cast they had. I don't think that they wasted the villains. I think there was a lot more that could have been done with what they had. I was right about a few things. I was wrong about a few things in my predictions. 2 post-credit scenes. I won't go into them. Doctor Strange was a lot of fun. We got to see the mirror dimension. I can't say all the villains get their due, Most of the focus, of course, is on the two big ones, which would be Willem Dafoe's Goblin and Alfred Molina's Otto Octavius. I'd say this wouldn't be a finisher to a trilogy for Tom Holland movies. I think it almost came on like the final few pages of an origin story. The way the movie ends really sets up his future. Venom didn't show up. I'll knock that out of the way right away. I was happy with the result overall. I would recommend going to see it. And again, it's incredibly difficult to review this movie without spoiling it, so I'm going to leave it at that. Check it out. As a Spider-Man movie, I would give it a 9. As a Marvel movie, yeah, probably a 9 as well overall. As a movie on its own, I don't know, 7.5 maybe, somewhere around there. Again, it was a lot of fun. The effects were great. The fights were great. Performances were great. Marissa Tomei and Tom Holland especially. Look for the spoiler review, which will be coming within the next week or so. So, Merry Christmas. Let us know in the comments below. Did you see the movie? Did you enjoy it? What did you think? Drop a like, subscribe, keep watching movies, keep watching films, get a vaccine if you can. Don't be a dickhead. Take care of each other. All the best. See you next time.